I'm pretty good right now.
And we are live. Welcome back to another episode of the Hustle Highway. Thank you guys for joining us. This is where grit meets greatness, and those who hustle make the dreams happen. Tonight we got a serious hustler with us. We got Jason Acosta with Shine On Controllers. Something that clearly, and when you start a business, it's you find that niche that people need, and you take advantage of it. And that's what Jason has done. He's a hustler, and he's making sure that folks have what they need if they want to go electric on these stills. Um, so, Jason, kind of give us a little bit of a background of how you got started, and kind of what kind of triggered your passion in this industry.
Well, pretty much like everybody else, I got started on, well, mine wasn't even a Vivor. I got mine off of Timu. It's a Vivor wannabe. And started with that and ran that for a while. And a very good friend of mine, I'm not going to say no names, but she knows who she is. Um, Still in the clear was having all those giveaways with the stills last year. And out of the blue, she tells me, "Hey, look, you need a copper still." I'm like, "You don't have to do that." She said, "I'm gonna win you one." And she tried and tried and tried for months, and eventually she did. And she went ahead and gifted it to me. And I was running my Vivor, my glass stovetop. I'm like, "Well, a 20-gallon pot ain't gonna cut it with that. I'm gonna go electric." And me being the cheapskate that I am, I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a control box. I know I have the ability to build my own. And that's when I ended up reaching out to my business partner up in Ohio, Josh, and he kind of walked me through the process. And I took his design and threw a couple of bells and whistles on it, bigger fan, switch, voltmeter, stuff like that.
Right.
And it's crazy how it happens. It really is, because I do a lot on TikTok, and I made a little
Yeah.
video. I built my controller and just fired it up, showing it off. And Uncle Moonshine reached out to me. He's like, "I want two of them."
Okay.
Serious? He's like, I'm dead serious. I want two of them.
Cool.
I'll buy them from you. Build me them. Okay.
Yeah.
I had no intentions of doing this as a side job, but okay, I built him his two, and then word started to get around a little bit. Then my business partner, he reached out to me and said, "Do you want to make a go of this?"
Right.
Hell yeah, let's do it. And then we just kind of started from there. It's just crazy how the dominoes fell with all of that, man. It really is.
Uh, yeah, it's awesome, man. Well, like I was saying, you kind of found something that you needed, and basically it turns out that a lot of other people that do electric they need it too. And
Yeah.
and now you found a way to put it together. The other thing is, man, they look really cool. I like we were talking about. Yeah, I've always been either wood fire or propane, so I've never used electric. But Tom Crum had told me about using, electric, and he said, when he went electric, he was like, dude, he said, you'd be amazed how much easier this is. And
Oh God, yes.
now we'll say, wood fire to me is easier than propane. I actually like wood fire just because the steadiness of the heat I can keep that steadier. Whereas when the wind blows, propane loses heat. A wood fired, still when the wind blows, worst case scenario, it's going to heat up a little bit more. But typically, if you've got it, buffered right, it's really not going to affect it.
Yeah.
So, but like Tom was telling me, he said that, just the electricity itself, because you don't have to worry about watching that so close. It's set at what it's set at. It's going to keep rolling at what it's set at. Um,
Absolutely.
and that does sound great. It's
Well, typically for me, at least when the kids are in school, is I'll go out to the shed, crank it up, start it up, set it at what I want to start warming it up. I'll come inside, get the kids ready for school, go drop them off at school. Might go get me an ice chest of ice for my water drum, and come back an hour later, and I'm damn near at temp, and I don't have to babysit it.
right. Exactly. Well, yeah, that's the big benefit too is, yeah, you're not having to watch it because it's electric. So it's not like things are going to go boom if you're not sitting there watching it. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
obviously you don't want to run it out, below your element. But obviously, that's a consideration way on down your run.
yeah.
That's not at the beginning.
Well, in my particular case, I have a copper still from Copper Moon Stills, and my element is, I mean, it's damn near at the bottom. It's maybe half inch from the bottom.
Right.
So if I run that dry, I got some issues.
Yeah, exactly. You fell asleep.
Right?
Yeah.
But man,
Um,
and I say this to people, and they kind of look at me like I'm crazy. But once you up to temp and running, and you go ahead and dial it in and get your drip set, it's almost like putting cruise control on the darn thing.
yeah. Yeah.
It really is, man.
Yeah, that's the thing is, basically what you have there is you've got the benefit of what I like out of a wood fired still, but you're able to have it indoors or wherever you want it to be. You don't have to worry about it. And then on propane, if I always have to run outside. Ever since some issues I had a couple years ago with the ATLE, but we won't talk about that. But the wind messes with your propane bad. It's
Oh, I'm sure.
you're chasing it all day long. Whereas with electric, it'd be nice. I mean, hell, even like this weekend up in Beattyville, I heard a couple of people's generators running. Damn, they make generators that run so damn quiet now. Hell, you could haul one of them out in the woods, man, and freaking run some electricity. I mean, it's
You
they,
you really could, man.
yeah,
You know,
it's
I was kind of picking at Cyrus with still in the clear. I said, he was talking about, man, I want to come up with a new concept. I said, you need to put you some solar panels on a roof and go ahead and run that thing off of solar.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like we were talking about that one day. You were like, "Yeah, get you a solar backpack." I was like, "Yeah, y'all be seeing me running through the woods, man, carrying a freaking solar panel on my back."
Hell
um,
yes.
we got a bunch of comments here. Let's catch up a little bit. Man, I'll tell you. Let's see. I got to get back up here, man, because I got to get to some of my favorites up here. Let's see. Oh goodness, we got a lot of folks. Yeah, Motor City Hellbilly, how's it going, brother? Good to see you, man. Um,
How you doing, brother?
then we got Justin Meredith. Hoo-hoo. And we got famous people up in here, bro.
I'm
Um,
telling you.
then Earl Wilkinson. Hey, how's it going, Earl? Actually, I'll be talking about you here in a few minutes, buddy.
The
Um,
pickle man.
yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, I got some of his pickles, man. They're good, dude. Yeah, they're really good.
Dude, I got some of
Um,
his plum and blackberry jam from the festival. That is the bomb.
and
Hell yeah.
let's see. Let's see, man. This thing. All right, there we go. And then Nick Beiser. Hey, how's it going, Nick? Brian Key. How's it going there, LPR Shine? How you doing, buddy?
LPR, the
Um,
man with the plan.
exactly. Steven Corson. How's it going, buddy? Morgan Stewart, how's it going there, Lone Wolf? David Dance, what's going on, buddy? Bill Foster, how you doing, man? Um, let's see. Blair, hey, what's going on, buddy? Blair, Canada, Blair. We got to see him this weekend too. Then let's
Oh
see.
yeah.
We got Boom PC82. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Then let me see who else we got here. This is hard when you're doing it by yourself. Janet Parker, hey, controller runs so smooth. Yeah,
Yep,
I'm
she
sure it does.
has one of mine.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, Kenny Taylor, how's it going, Kenny? Good to see you this weekend, man. Um, let's see who else we got here. Oh, hey, Joni Bates. Hey, how you doing, Joni? Miss
How you doing?
Alabama. Richard Henderson, how's it going, buddy?
Richard, my brother from another mother.
And Hillbilly Glass Barrels, how's it going, bro? How you doing, man?
Terry, my another one of my brothers. Hell yeah.
Exactly, man. We got all these famous people up in here tonight, dude. Um, let's see. Excellent. Let's see. Yeah, so real quick, let's see who. Mash Brothers, Moonshine. Hey, how's it going, man?
He, he has
So
another
yeah,
one
real
of our
quick,
controllers.
since I see Earl Wilkerson up in here. Yosemite Sam. We're gonna drink a little of this grapefruit, bro. Um, oh, that's
I
good,
can't
man.
remember. I can't remember if I tried his grapefruit at the festival because I was feeling
Yeah,
it, but I tell you what, that lemonade he makes, that
yeah,
is excellent.
yeah, yeah. I will say, yeah, this grapefruit's delicious, man. I like the flavor to it. It especially the after flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, that's good stuff. Um, yeah. So
Earl
what
just
you
got
drinking
him a
on?
brand new copper pot.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he got him I think it was 15-gallon from Bruiser.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bruiser.
I'm
Bruiser
I'm
builds nice
drinking
stuff.
some of my Hazlitt rye. I aged this on oak for 7 months and swapped out the oak and put a couple of rum staves for a couple of weeks.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Yeah, something I got to try this weekend, man. And I will say, I think a lot of people this weekend really missed out in paying attention to it because it was just simply sat on a table with a bunch of other people's moonshine. I think people did not realize how awesome what they had in the center of that table was. Um, Tracy Van Fleet, man, his 5 year aged bourbon.
Oh
It had been
wow.
in a barrel for 5 years. He had just tapped it, put it in that jar, and put it on that table. Man, I will tell you that it was that is totally worth the 5 year wait, bro. I mean, because I've rapid aged a lot of stuff, and I'll tell you, man, there's no comparison there. I mean,
No, no, no.
it just the flavor. Yeah, and Blair from Canada made a good point. And maple, yeah, it was a maple bourbon. Um, and
Oh
man,
nice.
I will tell you, it was so freaking awesome, dude. That was some of the best. That was some of the best backwoods liquor I've tasted in a long time. And that's why Tracy this weekend was inducted into the Moonshine Hall of Fame. I mean, he truly
Oh
is.
yeah.
He's a master. That's he's a craftsman. That was good stuff.
And and he builds nice stills too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's very skilled. They held the wood fired still that I always loved to run on. He built that thing. Him and Donnie Benton built that.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's yeah, good stuff. Okay, boom. PC 811 says Louisiana down here by the Voodoo. Hell yeah. Earl Wilkinson says, yeah, I got ready for farmers market before going to Angel, but set up and running. Hell yeah. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Frank
Yeah.
Morrissey says, well, shit, everybody else on Facebook. um,
Yeah. Oh, boom. He come party with me in LPR when he was over there at the festival in Louisiana.
oh yeah, yeah. Man, I hated that I couldn't get to that festival. It
Oh,
I ended up having to work that weekend, and also on top, I mean, sometimes even if I got to work, man, I'll try to break away and run to one. But dude, that Louisiana one's about 9.5 hours from me, so there wasn't no just jump over there and jump back.
no. You got to be a little committed to that one.
Yeah,
Hell, it was.
kind of the
I lived in
same way
Louisiana,
as
and it was still
OBX.
4 hours for me.
Oh yeah. So whereabouts are you, man? Are you in Texas?
I'm in southeast Louisiana. I'm about
Okay.
give it give or take about an hour from New Orleans.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a pretty good
I'm
little
only
journey.
about 30 miles from the coast.
Okay.
I'm way
Nice.
down here.
You get some good seafood.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. So now as you started building your controllers, I mean, probably out of the gate, I mean, I don't know. You probably didn't start off with all the lights and stuff like that. But what made you decide to start putting lights into it?
It's just eye candy, you know. Me and my business partner Josh, we talk about all of this stuff often. We talk 5, 6 days a week about some of this stuff. Just what can we do to improve it, or you know, better customer experience. And I was looking at some light strips, and that would have been a little funny. And I found some little bitty LED bulbs. I said, you know what? That would look cool as hell.
Yep.
So we went ahead and gave it a try, and it worked fine, man. They work real good. And just as a little added bonus, the way we have them wired up is the more you crank up the power, the brighter they get.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So if you dim it, they get a little lower. In fact, I just right, but you sent me the link. I was finishing up on my personal box because I was using that as a test dummy. I found up a blue LED light up fan that I tried in
Oh,
my
yeah.
box, but it just doesn't put out enough air. I tried it and it just doesn't put out enough air.
Is it
If
like
I can
a
find one,
computer? Is it like a computer fan or something? Yeah.
yeah, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong, it looks
Oh
cool,
yeah.
but
Oh yeah. They look awesome.
the function
But
ain't there.
it's
So
designed to cool off something a lot cooler than what we're running.
yeah, oh yeah. That that fan that we put in there, it's a bit overkill, but I'd rather have too much than not enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Let's see. Oh, Blair says yours was pretty damn good too, Jeremy. I appreciate that, Blair. Yeah, I had this weekend I was having some folks try a strawberry rye that I had done. Um,
mm, that
well, the
sounds real
funny
good.
thing is, man, usually my strawberry turns out a little fiery. And so I was really scared about having this much rye in it because I was afraid it was just going to amplify the hell out of that fireness. But the funny thing is, it actually seemed to calm it down. It's almost
Huh.
like the two counteracted each other. And
Hey,
so, yeah,
whatever works.
a lot of people this weekend were talking about how great it was. Like, even like we were talking about Bruiser, I gave Bruiser a drink of it, and he immediately was, hollering at his wife, telling her, "Hey, you got to come over here, come try this real quick." And actually, speaking of that, Bruiser's daughter made a kick-ass Carolina Reaper liquor, man. Whew. Now
Wow.
I will say the burn hit you and it stuck with you. It stuck with you in the mouth for a while, but just the flavor and all that, man, it was so good. Um, it was awesome. Um, yeah, I will say that young lady is talented. That was good liquor. Um,
Hell yeah.
then but yeah, and, oh hey KP Kenny Parker, what's going on, bro?
KP, my brother.
Yeah, man, the man. Um, see, oh damn, I'm like way behind. Oh, Earl Earl said 9 hours. Yeah, he had a journey from Texas to get up there this weekend. Um, see, yeah, he said, what was it? He said it was 18 hours to get to Beattyville. Woo!
Wow.
I feel happy I got to see you, Earl. I mean, damn.
Hey, my
And
hat's off to
and
you, sir.
and that makes this even more valuable to me, brother. I mean, that's a long road trip for you to bring me this.
Hell yeah.
um,
You talk about
yeah,
cross country.
no kidding, man. Yeah, that was a journey, brother. Um, then and Bill Foster's on here, man. Uncle Bill, I got to tell you, man, this Cherokee White Eagle is on the money, bro. This good stuff.
Hell yeah.
It yeah, it's better than my corn liquor. It is. um,
Hell yeah. I got some
hey,
rye
Mark
streaming right
Morgan.
now. Mark Morgan.
Hey, Chris
Hell,
Hayes. What's going on, brother? Chris, a good
he's
dude, man.
Chris is running one of my boxes right now.
Yeah, Chris, a good dude, man. He yeah, he called me up, man, about that stupid shit. That dude calling you and telling you all that stupid shit, and it was funny because the second that Chris called me, I said, "Well, dude, you know me. If I had a problem with somebody, they already gonna know it." And he said, "Yeah." He said they are, and I said, "Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not shy about telling somebody I don't like them. You know, that whole thing was so silly, man. I mean,
That just threw me for a loop. I'm like, man, that
well,
don't
I
make no
mean, well,
sense.
and honestly, man, what was really stupid about it was it would have actually. I mean, even though it'd still be wrong, it would have been more believable, I guess, if it was somebody I'd actually had interactions with. I mean, you and I had never really had that much interactions other than maybe podcast comments here and there. I mean, there was absolutely no reason for you and I to have any problem with each other ever. I mean, and so
No, no.
when Chris reached out to me, I was like, "What? What the hell's he talking about?" He was like, he said, "Well," he said, "Oh, I already said that, you know, you'd probably have you'd already let him know." And I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "I'm not shy about letting folks know I don't like them."
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that's a personality defect of mine. Is I feel like I'm lying to somebody if I'm nice to them and I don't like them. It's, I feel like I'm lying to them. It's
and like
you
I
know it,
told Chris, I said it just didn't make no sense because before all of that took place, me and you have never had a conversation. I mean, we might
exactly.
co comment a little bit here and there, but that was about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's what I mean. It hit me totally out of left field, dude. I was so damn confused. I was like, why would I mean, out of everybody I know or interact with, I mean, I was like, why? I mean, this doesn't make any sense at all, man. I mean, this is just literally craziness right here. Um, but at the same time, I hate to say it, but I guess when you're on them real drugs, crazy shit happens. I guess it's that's all I can say. It's people imagine shit.
Yeah.
Um, it
But I like to think of, I like to think of the glass half full. Something, positive came out. We
oh hell
having this
yeah.
conversation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we've become friends through it. I mean that
Yeah.
it's I'd never had a chance to really talk to you, and then I get to sit here and talk to you and stuff. I mean, you're a cool ass dude, man.
No, I appreciate it. You're pretty good yourself. Let's have a
Yeah,
drink.
it's yeah, oh, absolutely. And here's yeah, Bill. I liked your Cherokee White Eagle. Here's your Trucker Corn. I like it too.
Oh, nice.
Good stuff. Actually, everybody must have liked it because it's almost gone.
That's how you can tell it's a good one.
Yeah, this is the one that the governor Chad Grant liked more. Um,
Oh,
I think what it is
that's
this
pretty
this
special.
one that's a good compliment. Yeah, he said yeah, this one's the one he liked the most, Bill. But this one also is a little more fiery. The Cherokee White Eagle. The only reason why I like it is I don't like my liquor fiery, so I like this Cherokee White Eagle because this stuff drinks like water, bro. At 100 proof, it drinks like water. it's
Hell yeah. I'm more of a kind of a grain guy myself, but I've been getting into doing a little bit of post flavor recently, and
yeah.
I came up with a recipe for a pineapple upside down cake. That's freaking
Oh,
dynamite.
there you go. That'd be
I'm
tasty.
not big into the sweets, but that one hits.
Yeah. It
Chris and Earl tried it
that's
at the festival.
yep. Well, and yeah, actually, to add to what I was saying about Bills, that Cherokee White Eagle is also a if I remember correctly, it's a weeded Cherokee White Eagle.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's very smooth. Very very easy to drink. Um, and then let's see. Boy, man, there's folks on here. Oh, Earl. Earl says, "Where's Shonda?" Yeah, everybody. Shonda's feeling a little under the weather today, so she's not on here tonight, but she will definitely be back next Wednesday. Um,
Hope she feels better.
oh yeah. So yeah, Jason. So you got into building these controllers. Things kind of kicked off. What I love about them is they do look cool as fuck, man. I mean, you know, it it's one of those things that yeah, if I could actually run inside in a place that I own, I'd definitely go for. It would be awesome. Um,
Hell
so
yeah.
what are some things that now that you've kind of started doing this? What are some things that you want to do moving forward?
Well, I'm recently getting into doing, merch, shirts and whatnot. I don't know how good y'all can
Yep.
see that. Um, and I'm looking to get my own podcast going. I've been talking with Morgan Stewart and Uncle Moonshine,
Yeah.
just getting a better idea of what I'm getting myself into,
Yeah.
and they helping me along and trying to get things figured out. I got a kick-ass name for it.
Yeah.
I ain't started it yet, but I get a kick-ass name. Call it the Run Dat Nation.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Well, I'll tell
And
you, I'll tell you, man. Everybody knows I've continued over the past couple months talking about Tuesday nights need something, bro. It's you know I mean, Thirsty Thursdays with the ladies, Friday night, Tom Crumb and the Governor. Um, Sunday nights, the Lone Wolf and Moose show. Then
Saturday night
you got
isn't
Still
Bad Santa.
Talking. Yep, and Still Talking on
Yeah.
Mondays. Um, all that kind of stuff. I've been sitting here telling folks, I'm like, we need a Tuesday.
Well, maybe that might be a possibility. I might talk with Tom about that.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Uh,
well, and that's the thing. It's the cool thing is also, when the community is, kind of together on things, and everybody kind of joins in. I think that's where Damon and Tom and the Moonshine podcast comes in to kind of really turn things connected. You know,
yeah.
um, one of the things we've always talked about is, why does everybody try to hate on each other? I mean, you know, we all. I mean, we're in a country of 330 million people. This is a very small niche community of people, but I will tell you, there are so many people outside of our community that want to drink the liquor.
Yeah.
And if we would all just work together to promote that, it would be so much better. And I think that's where the partnership with Moonshine Militia, all of the different groups kind of coming together, and everybody trying to work together would be a lot better than the handful. And it's only a few people. There's only a handful of people that try to hate on everybody. But I think that's where we all got to freaking, I mean, for lack of a better way, say we got to grab our fucking balls and kick those fucking people out. I mean,
Well,
you know, and
you, you get so many personalities together, you're gonna have some clashes. It's human nature. It's
oh yeah,
bound to happen.
yeah.
It's
What
unfortunate, but that is human nature.
Yeah, what blows my mind is how many people that the second somebody gets any attention, the amount of people that start trying to knock them down. I mean, the same thing happened like 2 weeks before Tater's jar release. I'm not going to use her real name, but we like to call her the Sparkle Queen. Decided to go on some campaign out there on Facebook trying to knock Tater down. I mean, why do people do that? I mean, it really isn't necessary, man. I mean, it just, you know, it's and really at the end of the day, it's not going to change anything. You know,
Well,
I mean, people have who they support.
well, like you said, we're such a small part of the pie when it comes to this country. We all got room to shine.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, and just like with you, you found that niche market. Controllers, people need them. You recognize you needed one. People need them. You're filling that. Um, Chris Fortner, when he started, I mean, and actually, well, let's not be shy about the damn Sparkle Queen went after him too. Um, and just because he's trying to make some coon packers out there, you know, he's sitting there. He found he found a market just like you. He was making them just for the hell of it, and people started saying, "Hey, I want one of those." And the next thing
Yeah.
you know, he started selling them. You know, then
And he does nice work, man.
he starts getting fairly well known. The next thing you know, the Sparkle Queen targets him on Facebook and starts going off on him on Facebook. And it's like, but why? I mean, the guy's, he's just trying to do what he's trying to do. And not the great thing is how many people in the community fired back and supported Chris, because
Well, he,
Chris is a great guy. He's never tried to talk bad about anybody. He's never tried to shit on anybody. He does what he does and he does it well. He works hard at what he does, you know. And so for her to try to target him, I think she realized that was a mistake. It's a whole lot of people came out against that one.
Uh, I I go on Facebook, but I spend a lot of time on TikTok, and we got a little community of shiners on TikTok as well. Some do both Facebook and TikTok. Some just do TikTok, and
Yep.
every now and again we get somebody that goes ahead and acts out of line, and like the same thing. It's a lot of people clap back.
Oh yeah.
Um, so did you hear about that contest that Copper Moon is putting on?
Yeah, I did, and that's the thing is I think that would be very cool. The only problem is like somebody like me that's had some issues with ATLE before,
Yeah,
things like that. Folks like us ain't gonna get involved with that because I'll tell y'all, I already learned from experience. Yeah, you get busted sending alcohol through the USPS, and yeah, that turns into federal charges. Um,
yeah,
that they don't like that too much, and even if you use Big Brown or you use FedEx, they can still get you for shipping it across state lines.
yeah. Well, that's the chance you take. No doubt.
Yeah.
But the whole reason that he started that little competition was because some little young, I call him
Oh
clown,
yeah, the
started
guy
running
that
his
talks
mouth.
shit about Phil Billy.
Well, he talked shit about Philbilly, Prohibition,
Yep.
North Georgia, and look, I don't have anything against those three, but their three reputations, that's just gonna bounce off. That ain't gonna hurt them no way, no how. But when he
Nah,
talks shit
nah,
about my
and
when he talks shit about my buddy Cookie, that's when I hit the clap back.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that they will start popping shots because it'll get them attention.
And
You
I
know,
think
they
that's what it was
you,
about.
and what they don't realize sometimes, and there's been a few people that have figured this out the hard way. What they don't realize is if you decide that at some point you're going to show up at an event that we're at and you've sat behind your computer popping shots, there are folks in this community that actually, yeah, they'll still get physical with you. And it'll happen real fast without them saying anything because there's a big difference between behind the computer and real life. And a lot of
Oh
these
yeah.
guys are real life. This is what they do. This is how they grew up. They're like one night we had a guy on here that started popping shots off about biker stuff. Well, I get it. It's because he saw the diamond on my shirt, but at the same time, you start doing that with me, when I see you in person, there's going to be a problem. I mean, I just, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people out here that don't understand that. They don't understand that. Yeah, a lot of these folks, we're all a community. It's a hobby, but there's a whole lot of people out here that do it for real, and that's
Yeah.
what you
Oh
got to
yeah.
think about. It's are you dealing with somebody that's just a computer fan, or are you dealing with somebody that actually has grown up this way, and this is how we do it? You know, um, I think people sometimes don't understand that there is a line there.
Yeah. Well, I think that's this generation coming up. They grew
Yeah,
up watching a screen.
exactly.
They and like Tyson said, everybody got a game plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody's tough, until they actually get hit for real. It's you know it and we've had that, in the community. We've had people that have essentially, acted like they're going to be tough, they're going to talk tough, they're going to act tough, but then all of a sudden at community events they hide from everybody, and it's like, yeah, that's not going to work out well for you. I mean, unfortunately, you've actually done worse for yourself because
Yeah,
now
well,
people know who you really are. And
a, a lot of people don't realize, like you was talking about, they're looking for attention. Not all attention is good attention.
right. Well, and you'll notice it. I hate to say it, you'll also notice it, especially in the springtime, right now. Right now, and starting usually around February, the end of February, up through now, there becomes a whole lot of shit talking. And it's people because they're wanting to try to get attention before they go to festivals. But as time has gone on, there are more and more people that have come into this that were, I like to say, kind of hanging in the shadows. The real moonshiners that really didn't want to come out in the front, really didn't want to be that well known. But then they came out of the shadows. Well, the problem is these people that were always talking shit don't realize these guys are around now. And those guys don't tolerate this shit, you know? And it is what it is, but I think, it's just like, folks like for example, a great example, Tater. Tater don't tolerate no shit. I mean, it's like Tater has told everybody a million times. He doesn't care if you run liquor off of a Beaver, you run liquor off a copper still, you run liquor off a keg still, you put thumpers in place, you use glass thumpers, whatever kind of thumpers. Literally, he doesn't care what you run. You're trying to run something, you're keeping the craft alive.
Yeah,
What's funny is he will say that people will actually start an argument with him over that. Literally, he is saying he agrees with everything, but somehow somebody will find a way to argue with him about that. And it's
yeah.
just because they want to argue on the computer.
Uh, I will never knock anybody for running a Vivor. That's how I cut my teeth. And if it wasn't for
Right.
that good friend of mine, I'd probably still be running that. In fact, that's another thing that I'm looking to get into. I did recently get a TIG machine, and I want to try to start making some tricked out kegs.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
You know, they have a lot of people that does kegs, but it's very rare that you'll see some with a sight glass or different things here and there, or a big ass ferrule on top. So
Yep.
that might
One
be
and
another niche market.
oh,
But
definitely. I mean, kegs are. I mean, when you think about stills, you kind of think about it as, okay, the Beaver might be entry level, kegs are mid level, copper higher level. What's funny is I'm just like anybody else. There's a lot of folks out there that, man, when you start running, you start realizing there's different benefits to different things. Um, I for example, I've got a Beaver still. That Beaver still, I like it because I can run small batches on that really fucking fast, dude. Now I will say, in order to do that, I had to ditch that stupid little condenser they come with. Throw that thing out the
yeah,
window.
that's the first thing that
Because
gotta go.
Yeah, it couldn't handle what the speed I was wanting to run. So he was like, yeah, that's got to go. But it's good for fast. And I mean, not to put it down. It actually, if you're starting out, you're making liquor. I've had some great liquor made off of some of those that people have. I use mine as a fast experimental still. You know, I can run liquor through it really quick. If I've got a 5 gallon bucket that I've fermented off, I can throw it in that beaver, cook it off real fast, see how it is. If it tastes good, I'll scale that up and I'll throw that in my 50. I've got a 50 gallon copper and I'll scale it up and throw it in there. If it's
Hell yeah.
then if I've got something like my standard, my corn liquors, I run those through my keg still because they're going to stay consistent. I run them all the time. I'm fermenting those all the time. It's my backup for everything. I'm running those through my keg stills because I know exactly how it's going to come out every time. You know, so it's one of the things I tell people is before they decide on scaling up, make sure they perfect what they're wanting to work on. Then from there, you can decide what types of stills you need. I mean, I've realized that one of the things that I do need is I'd like to have more of a column still because I built that little 5 gallon back there. I built that one as a semi column just to test it out to see how much cleaner could my liquor be off a column. Could I get closer to a really good vodka if I ran it off that? Um, but now I've realized that yes, I could. So now I need a real column.
That's the beauty of a keg, man. It's so easy to strap a column on there and roll with it,
Exactly.
you know. But I will say this, a V-bore absolutely has its place because
Oh yeah.
half of the people that's doing it now would not be in it if it wasn't for V-bore.
Oh, exactly. I mean, they are actually, and I've seen videos where people have tried to say that look at the danger of a beaver. I'll tell you now, every one of those videos, I can tell you where the operator fucked up. It had nothing to do with that still. It was the operator that fucked up.
Well,
If you leave any still unattended over an open fire and you walk away from it, especially in a closed in area, you're a
you
fucking
asking for
moron.
trouble.
I mean,
You
you
asking
know,
for
it's
trouble.
so, I mean,
And,
when I've seen videos of people saying, look how dangerous this is, it blew up my back room. Well, for one, why the fuck were you running it over propane in a closed in room anyway? And two, why'd you go in and decide to leave it alone? I mean,
uh,
any still can leak. Even
oh
the
yeah,
highest dollar tri clamp still can leak. You don't leave that shit alone over a fucking open fire in a closed room. I mean, you just don't do that.
there's a certain individual that had a V-bore start leaking and catch fire on him, and he said he was having issues with one of the latches. I said, well,
That's the one I'm talking about.
I said, well, I told him this, and I told him this on a live. I said, if you have a Ford F-150 and you go 30,000 miles without an oil change and you blow up the engine, is it the truck's fault or is it your fault?
Yep.
I
And if
mean,
you'll notice, in that video, he said he went in and fixed lunch. Dude, you don't leave a fucking still in a closed in room over propane and walk away because any still can leak. And if it's in an enclosed room over propane and it starts leaking, yeah, you just became a statistic. You know, anytime any of those, you know, even in the history when they talked about still houses blowing up, I guarantee you it was because some idiot decided not to pay attention to something. I mean, you know, you've got to, I mean, even if you're running over electricity, like we were talking about, yeah, it's harder. But if you pass
But you
out
can still
drunk
have
and
a
you fall
mishap.
asleep, if you pass out drunk and fall asleep, and that fluid gets below that damn probe, you're gonna have a problem. It's
Well, what? See, those elements, they damn near the same thing that goes in the electric water.
yep,
It's the same
exactly.
principle, except they have a triplanet. That's the only difference. And if you run it dry, the only thing that's going to happen is the element is just going to give out. It's just not going to work. It's not going
Yeah,
to cause a spark or anything, but you'll blow
right.
your element
It'll just burn
you
it
have a
up.
liquid on. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll burn it up. And
but
I will say that's where electricity does become a lot safer, especially if you got to do it in an enclosed area. Um, I anytime I'm running propane, I obviously wood fire. That's completely outside. But if I'm running propane, it's going to be somewhere where there's a whole lot of ventilation. The other reason why is not just because of leaks, but shit. If for some reason that flame goes out, I don't want to be walking up in that freaking building, freaking,
right,
suffocating from freaking fumes.
you don't want to be walking up in that building not knowing any different and strike a cigarette lighter.
Yeah,
You'd blow yourself sky
exactly.
high.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of times when I see people talk about issues, just like for example, if you ever have a chance to go up to the to the Batesville, to the Moonshine Museum up there, Donnie Benton's place, you'll see a still up there that's collapsed. Same thing. If you're not using common sense, you're going to have a problem. You know, if you're not using common sense and you're running propane and liquor in an enclosed space and you're not watching it, you're not paying attention, you're going to have a problem. Same thing on the flip side. You shut that rig down, you're not paying attention, you don't crack a line, you're going to have a collapsed beer can on your hands. And
Oh
and
yeah.
Donnie Ben's got a great example of that in the museum where him and Bruiser built a guy a very nice 10-gallon still. And a week later, the guy has it sitting on their porch saying, "Yeah, I think I fucked it up." And it was because he was doing a cleaning run. Never even got to run any liquor through it. Did a
Oh
cleaning
my
run
God.
and did not crack a line, and it collapsed that whole freaking still. The thing is
Yeah.
it's common sense. You have to pay attention to what's happening, and you can't just, light it and walk away. It don't work that way. It's,
No. See, that's one of the things that I like about my rig that I got from Copper Moon. It does have that vacuum breaker on the cat. I don't trust it. Personally, I don't trust it. But I got him to put me a ball valve on the cat. And as soon as I shut down, I crack open that ball valve and I'm good,
yep.
and it's simple as that. Turn the
Oh
controller
yeah,
off, crack open the ball valve, no worries.
I mean, basically, I mean, any run I do, when I shut that thing down, even if I mean, because none of my rigs are very fancy. I mean, most of them I built myself, so they're pretty basic. Um, but once the liquor starts dripping once it stops dripping out of the worm, I'm cracking a line open because at that
Yeah,
point, the only thing that can happen is things going backwards, and that's
yeah.
what you don't want. It's and it's
No,
just like, I mean, just like I won't really talk about whose actually it was, but on the episode of Moonshiners where Richard Landry collapsed that still, yeah, that actually was not the owner, they say, of that still. Who it was, that wasn't actually the owner. The owner of that still was actually a good friend of mine. And that whole situation turned real bad because they tried to
Yeah.
act like this didn't happen to this piece of equipment. And all I've got to say is it demonstrated at least one person on that show is an actor and not a real moonshiner, was what it did. If they had that much experience running liquor, that would have never happened to that rig. And when it did happen, they should have actually been honest with the real owner of that rig what happened, but they weren't. And that real owner to this day is still pissed off about that situation.
Oh, I don't blame him. That was a big what that was, 150 gallon, 200
Yeah,
gallon.
and that was a still that the real owner made about $1,500 a month off of. So that was a painful
Uh,
loss. And they tried to dodge him for several weeks about what happened to that. Um, so yeah, but at the same time, it goes back to it's kind of common sense, really. I mean, who hasn't seen the videos of the fire department showing you what happens to a barrel when it's heated and they throw it into water? I mean, it's going to collapse. I mean, it's just
mm-hmm.
everybody saw that video growing up, and so it's like when some of these things happen, you're like, but that was just common sense, man. I mean, yeah, anybody can say that a beaver is cheap. Hey, they are, but they work perfectly fine.
Oh
They
yeah.
work they work completely as intended, and as long as you actually pay attention to what you're doing and you don't get lazy about it, they work fine. The only thing that I will say is the one beaver I bought for test runs and stuff like that. The only thing I'll say is that thing they call a thumper is not a thumper. That's a slobber box. The other thing is the worm on it is too damn small. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with them. They work perfectly fine.
Well, mine didn't come with that little stainless thumper, slobber box, whatever you want to call it. Mine actually came with a single half-gallon jar rig,
Oh, nice.
and
Okay.
I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of using that with all the flex lines. I was
Oh,
not a fan of the flex lines.
yeah, that would be hard to actually do anything with it because it's going to hang down. The heavier it gets, it's going to pull everything down.
So what I ended up doing, and I pimped out my Vivor. I'm not gonna lie. I drilled a hole through the lid, and I put a one of those stainless steel bulkhead tri-clamp fittings,
Yeah.
and I built a 20-inch tall, 2-inch copper column with a line arm coming over to a liebig.
Okay. Yeah.
And that I had to put a brace on it because that was a lot of weight for that thin
Yeah.
lid. But I mean, it worked fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Eventually, I want to take me a tri clamp on that Vivor and hook that up where I could run it electric.
Yeah. Well, and actually, that was something I wanted to ask you, Jason. Is like with the kegs, if somebody's wanting to turn a keg steel into an electric, I'm assuming you're gonna have to do some drilling and some welding.
Yes,
Yeah.
you you can get by with soldering. You can do soldering. Um, Welding is preferred, but you can do soldering.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
it's all on what you have access to, I guess.
Well, and I think that actually has been the main thing that's prevented me from going electric is I build all my own equipment and I'm limited in what I can do. So it's my stuff has a tendency to only be good over fire. If I sit here and I think, I'm like, eh, could I actually create, could I put a tube in and solder that and weld it in? My thing is, I'm not willing to risk trying to cut that hole in something I've built.
I mean, that's kind of one of those iffy situations. How gung ho are you?
Yeah,
Um, but people do it all the time, man. And it soldering stainless, it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, but it is
yeah,
doable. You know, Uh, one of the things that when I was doing a bunch of that work to my V-bore, I actually made a stainless steel thumper for my V-bore, copper
okay,
pipes in a stainless steel pot, and it looked like a little baby V-bore, but I made a thumper out of it. Soldering stainless to copper is easy, you know that. But
yeah,
stainless to copper, I struggled with, and I got to give a shout out to Wayne from Ozark because he helped
okay,
me a good bit get that figured out.
yeah.
You know,
It's definitely challenging. I mean, like even this weekend at Beattyville, some folks were talking about my jar rigs, which I mean, hell, anybody builds now, um, and stuff. But like
oh,
I was telling people, jar rigs are easy. I mean, if you're doing it all copper, they're easy. Um, the only one that's ever given me problems is folks probably can't see it, but I'm a jar rig back there by that blue bucket. That the only reason why that one was a little challenging was because I wanted to see how many jars I could fit in a small space. Um, so I actually
I know.
angled all of them off each other all the way down to keep them in a compact space. Um, but again, it's just copper to copper, so it's not that bad. But yeah,
Oh, wow.
copper to stainless steel is a little bit tougher.
That is some blueberry. I'm sorry, blackberry dumplings.
Oh, that's got a nice color to it. Yeah, yeah, that's good
That
looking.
one come out pretty good too. And everybody asked me what I did. What I did is my wife cooked a big old batch of blackberry dumplings, and there was some left over, so I threw it in a jar.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. There you go.
It works.
Um, boom. PC 811 says, George Jeremy, you're absolutely right about the beaver worm. It's too short and too small. Yeah, it is. I mean,
Right.
now if you're learning how to make liquor, it's. I mean, the kit right out of the box is actually pretty good. You just got to run it slow. That worm, unfortunately, is so small that if you try to run fast or in a drip, you're gonna have a problem. I mean, it's gonna start struggling. But just to learn, it really does work good. Ooh, what you got there, bro?
That's the line arm that I built for that V-bore.
Oh, that's
The
cool,
the
man.
column the
Is that is that
column is actually in my
2 inches?
shed. Yeah, it's a 2 inch line arm with a 2 inch column, and that's
Yeah.
the lie big I built.
Oh, excellent. So let me ask you this, man, because clearly you're more experienced with the beavers than I am. If you've got one of the 13-gallon beavers, can you swap that lid out to one of the football lids?
You know, that's something I've never really messed with was the football style. Don't only V-bore I've really messed with is my flat top.
Okay.
But I would imagine as long as the diameter is the same, I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah.
But you could
Because
put a side clamp on a flat top. That's what I did. In fact,
Earl Earl
let me
said
go
Earl
inside real
says
quick.
no.
No,
So maybe, yeah, Earl may have tried that already. But yeah,
Earl has a
because
bunch of V-boards.
yeah, the
Watch.
only way is to buy a football on the beaver. Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know how good you see that big old nut,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and that's the tri-clamp.
There you go. Oh, so you
It,
soldered the tri clamp right onto your beaver.
no, you drill a hole. Oh, let me turn the camera on. If I can do that
Yeah.
real quick. Let's see.
Hey, Tiffany Barnes, how you doing?
So you drill a hole through your lid.
Oh, okay.
You
I
put a
see now.
you put a
Yeah, you.
gasket,
Yeah.
and then you just tighten down that nut,
Oh hell yeah. There you go.
dude. Very
Yeah.
very simple.
Damn. I might
Anybody can
need to
do
do
that,
that to my little tester, man.
and you can go tri-clamp, which I highly recommend tri-clamp.
Yeah. I may need to. Yeah, I may need to do that to my little tester rig, man, because
It's
I'll tell you
it's
that's
called the
that.
bulkhead fitting.
Yeah, that would be a whole lot better than what they provide you with.
Oh look, my main goal after I did my first run with my V-bore is like I am doing away with those flex lines. I did not
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah. No.
Nothing wrong with
Well,
the pot. I don't like the flex lines.
and that's why I love to give a shout out to Phil Billy, because even though other folks have tried to dip into this market, Phil Billy's done a great job of essentially providing all of the upgrades folks need for this. You know, oh, I might have lost him. Tiffany, yeah, Shonda's feeling kind of sick today, so she's off tonight. So yeah, I'm doing this one solo. But I will say, yep, Yosemite Sam, grapefruit, good stuff, loving it. Um, hey Bill, the there you go, brother.
Hit the wrong button.
Um,
Hit the wrong button.
Bill, the trucker corn is on point, bro. And even though the governor liked the trucker corn better, I like the Cherokee White Eagle there better, brother.
Now, now, when you say the governor, we got multiple people running for governor now.
Oh yeah, I got to say the moonshine governor Chad Grant.
Okay, there you go. As
He'll be a lifetime term governor. Actually, I'll be honest with you. Ever since last year when they gave me the Moonshiner Shitster Award, I personally think the governor is the front runner for it this year. I'm trying to at least I'm trying to push that. Um, because yeah, I got till November to come up with somebody. So
oh,
if there's anybody
you
out
got to
there that wants
nominate
to
him.
start stirring some shit, please stir a bunch of shit so that I can transfer this title to somebody else.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's raining his ass off right
I gotta
now.
find somebody else to pass this on to.
I'm sure he would wear that badge with pride.
Hey, I think he's getting there, man. Um, it was funny. I will say Thursday night, actually Friday morning at 5 a.m. I looked at the good governor and I said to him, I gotta go to bed, dude. I went in there and went to sleep in the room. He was still talking to me through the wall, bro. He just kept yelling at me. And because I kept laughing, he was like, dude, why don't you just come back out here? You ain't going to sleep. I'm like, because you won't shut up, man. I'm like, I was like,
Oh goodness.
oh, I'll tell you, it was funny as hell, man. I mean, he was. I'll tell you, if you ain't never had a chance to spend a freaking night drinking with the governor, it's worth it, dude. He's hilarious.
I'll bet, man. I seen some of the videos that he posts, man. He's funny.
Oh well, and yeah, one of the I think he posted it where Phil Billy's kissing the cane. Yeah, that cane is made out of bull penis.
Uh, that's a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one.
A
Was
couple months ago, we went to a distillery, and a cane they had in there. I was in there fucking around with it, man. I'm walking around with this cane, and the owner said, "Do you know what that's made out of?" I said, "Yeah, it's wood." They said, "No, it's an animal organ." I said, "Okay." I'm like thinking like deer intestines or whatever, and they said, "Nah, that's a bull penis." Oh, so I started running around the distillery grabbing people with it, going, "Here, I'm grabbing with my penis." It's so they bought me actually way too nice of a gag gift. They got me a freaking bull penis cane that has a buffalo head nickel
oh
imprinted
wow.
in it, polished and everything. So yeah, it got circulated around this weekend.
There you
Oh,
go.
Ride Daddy. Oh, Wes has decided to join us, and he says Jeremy knows all about the penis. Yeah, I hear you, brother. Oh, Ride Daddy. I'll tell you, Ride Daddy's one of the most famous people out there, man.
With a name like Ride Daddy, I mean, it's supposed to be.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, you know, oh, Ride Daddy. But we love him. We love you, Wes. Man, I'm hoping to see you soon, brother. Um, you keep I mean, one of these days me and you gotta meet on that pool table there, Ride Daddy, one way or another.
That's my
Um
little brand.
oh, that's cool, man. Oh yeah.
That's a weeded bourbon sour mash that I aged for a year.
Oh yeah.
Like you
Um
said, ain't no substitute for time.
no, there's not. I mean I've tried to do rapid age, and even though I thought it was good, when I've tried real aged liquor that has been aged in a real barrel over a few years, it is night and day, man. There's no way
Oh,
you can mimic that taste.
well, this is actually aged on staves for a year, but it's pretty good. It's not barrel aged, but it's pretty good.
But it hit for a year.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
well,
That's the thing is
I don't
I
know too
think
many
people
people
I
that
think
does
people don't
staves for that
realize.
long.
Yeah, I don't think people realize, man. A few weeks or a couple months ain't gonna do it. It's
You know,
that.
I've never tried chips, but chips are just too quick.
Yeah, I have tried so many different kinds of chips, and all it does is it creates a false reality. You can see the color. You may even in a hint of the flavor, but it doesn't match time. I mean, the
No,
time really does make a complete difference.
which I'm gonna show you something that I know he was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still in here. Hillbilly Glass Barrels.
Yeah,
I don't I don't know if you've ever seen his stuff in action.
yeah, yeah, yeah. His stuff works really well. Yeah.
But that's a rice whiskey that's been on. Well, this month makes a year.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. If you know, that's the thing is folks got to realize you got to put the time in it. You know, it really does. I will say like Tracy's 5 year. It's sitting out there on the table. There were a few folks that kept talking about a bunch of other Lakers out there. And I was like, man, I'm telling you, that freaking
You don't
five
know what's
year
in
that
front
was
of you.
sitting on that table this weekend, that is, if you didn't get a chance to taste that, you passed up a taste of a lifetime. I mean, that maple bourbon was so freaking delicious, man. I mean, it just, the 5 years in a barrel made all the difference in the world. It was awesome.
Oh yeah. Now,
It
I have a bunch of those stainless steel barrels that Hillbilly Glass Barrels makes, and those
right.
do a good job. But
Yeah.
like you said, you gotta wait your time. Last month made 1 year for my toasted corn bourbon that I have in there, and it's decent, but it's real light in color. It just needs more
Right.
time.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, just like everybody. I mean, really, when you think about it, everything in this craft is about patience. You know, being patient and making sure things work. I mean, just like even fermentation. I mean, I have so many people tell me, "Hey, I've hit I've hit a point nine on my fermentation. It's ready to go. I'm ready to run it." And I'll tell them, "Wait another week." And the only reason why is because, man, some of the best liquor I've made has been off of freaking mashes I've actually forgotten about and let six months past where they were done. But the flavor was so much better because it just gave it more time, you know. There's nothing about this craft that you can do. If you create something fast that tastes great, I'll tell you now, if you find a way to create it slower, it'll be better. I mean, it just seems to be that way. You know, there's nothing about this craft that's fast.
No, and that's coming into this. This is only makes this month makes 2 years that I'm into this, and that's one thing I've had to learn was patience.
Yep.
You know, uh, but you know, it's one of those things.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll sit here and people ask me about starting gravities, ending gravities, all this. A lot of people that have followed me for a while know I don't take none of that. I don't pay attention to none of that. My thing is, it's going to tell you when it's ready. When it's ready, it's ready. It's based off of the taste, the feel. Every mash is different. And even if the gravity hits 0.990, depending on the mash, it may still need to wait a little bit. But it's all about that. That's the thing is it just takes time to figure that out. Figure out where those flavors are at because the flavor in your mash is going to give you an indication of the flavor of your final product. And even if it has reached 0.990 and it's ready to run, you can taste that mash and I can tell you it may not be ready to run. But it's about patience, and experience and realizing that all that flavor you could have there may not be there yet. But that
Yeah,
takes
well,
time, you know.
I, I'm not gonna lie. I've been a little impatient. Very good friend of mine. He does wine. It is. Now, I ain't gonna get into it, but his significant other won't allow him to take the next step. And he gave me a 5-gallon Hungarian oak barrel that he used one time to
Oh, cool.
age his blueberry wine.
Yeah.
And the first thing that popped in my mind, because I love rye, is I'm gonna fill that sucker with some rye. And I've been trying to fill it since October. And the mash that I've got straining off right now, it's at 0.99. It could probably have settled out for another week or two, and I'm like, screw that. I don't have a lot of time with the work schedule I have and doing the controllers and the shirts and all. Said I'm running it, but barrel aging, I think it being a little maybe being a little grungy might add to it.
Right.
Might give it more. What's the word? Esters, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think that blueberry wine influence on a rye would be something special.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and you bring up a good point. Different things like people talk about the esters. Then when you get into tails and cogners, those kind of things. Personally, I think the most important things, and this is because I like to party, I like to drink a lot. Um, those cogners and the tails are very important to me. I'm gonna get pissed off if you give me a hangover. It's
Right?
it's if you go too far into your tails, you're gonna give me a fucking hangover. So don't do that. There
Or
may be some flavor there, and that flavor may be good. As we know, if you get too deep, the flavor turns real funky. But even when the flavor is on the line, stop, because if you cross that line, you're just giving people a hangover, and that's horrible.
yeah, that's the whole thing about a good shine. If your cuts are clean, you won't
Yep,
have a hang. You know,
exactly. Yeah, like I always tell people, you drink my liquor, you may be falling down, you may be acting stupid, but I guarantee you tomorrow you're only going to be tired. You're not going to have a hangover. It ain't happening. Um, anything that starts running tails in mine, that's all stuff just to throw back in the next batch. You know it. I'm going to cut it off a certain spot. Now there are people out there that I have tasted some of their liquor that when they go into the tails a little deep, their liquor does taste awesome. It tastes great. But man, I'll tell you, you drink a little too much of it, the next day you're gonna feel it. You
I
know it.
I have done that in the past where I have added just a splash of tails to something I plan on aging long term because I
Yep.
find it throws a little bit of congeners, a little bit of flavor in there.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
it's not much.
Yeah.
But one
There.
thing I do is not, this is just my little method. When I know I am absolutely into tails, no doubt about it, I will crank up my controller wide
Yep.
open
Yep.
and I'll rip off a gallon of tails in about 20 minutes and then shut it down.
I do this. I do the same thing off propane. Once I start to dip into the tails, I crank that fucker wide open, and I'm running everything else out as fast as I can, because I'm gonna collect all that. All that's gonna just get thrown into another batch with that same type of mash, and I'll throw it in there. And the funny thing is I've realized times I don't do that, I end up short. If I do that and I run that back in, I can get out some pretty good liquor in more amounts the next time. But again, that comes back to patience. You can't take it this first round. You got to run that off and let it go to the next round and then take it. Anything, when people ask me, what is the biggest disaster you can fall into with making moonshine? It's getting in too much of a hurry, you know,
Yeah, that's when people tend to screw up,
rushing it.
especially when it comes to cuts.
Yeah.
Um, something I got something going on right now, and I've never done this, and I just wanted to try it. I've been collecting faints for a while now, and I
Oh
probably
yeah.
got about 8 gallons of faints, and I just want to do an all faints run just for the hell of it.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah,
I haven't done
I
that
usually
yet.
throw mine into a mash, but I have thought about that. It'd be nice to have and just do a run of liquor.
Yeah, and I'm almost to the point where I want to be. I might collect another 3, 4 gallons of faints, and then do an all faints run, and pretty
Right.
much strip it to a neutral.
Yeah.
You know, I'm starting to get to where I'm doing a little bit more post flavors. I've never look when I first got into this, I wasn't looking to make shine. I wasn't looking to make post flavors. I was looking to make a whiskey. You know, that's I've been shining for 2 years. I've been drinking whiskey for well over a decade.
Right.
That's what got me into it. Can I make a good bourbon? Can I make a good rye?
Right.
And since then I've got to where I appreciate a damn good sour mash. I love me a good sour mash. And
Yeah.
started dabbling in the post flavors, and people really seem to like them. So why not?
And that's the thing. A lot of people will hate on post flavor. I'm gonna tell you now. Anybody out there that wants to make money makes money off post flavor. I mean that's just the way it is. You're not gonna sit here and run an expensive grain liquor and make a ton of money off of it. If you're illegal and you're selling this stuff to the folks around your community, your better bet is to sell it to people that can drink it.
Yeah,
And that may mean coming up with, I mean, like a lot of people talk about my dragon's blood. Well, the reason why everybody loves it is because it's 70 proof. Anybody can drink it. I mean, you know, it's strong enough that a guy is not going to feel bad about drinking it, but it's weak enough that a woman can drink it and enjoy it. Same thing with a lot of the other stuff folks make. I mean, if you think about it, Big Nick's peanut butter and banana moonshine, it's 60 proof. That's why people like it, man. I mean, it may be post flavored, but at the same time, I mean, it sells. That's what
it's
I mean.
approachable.
Yeah, I mean, it's approachable. Now, yeah, everybody wants to have their 100 proof, corn liquor out there. They want to claim, hey, I got the best. That's great. But I'm going to tell you now, you start rolling up into places saying, hey, I got this 130, 140 proof liquor. You can flex that muscle all you want to. I'm sorry, but drinking 130 proof, 140 liquor, no matter how smooth it is, ain't fun. Because I don't want to do a couple shots and have my face on the floor. I'd rather ease into my night, you know. You
Start
know,
off with a mild 100 proof,
yeah,
then
not
work up to that.
yeah, 90 to 100 proof. You know, I can roll into my night and not make a fool of myself. But you hit me with 130 proof liquor out of the gate, and yeah, I'm gonna be fucking on my face. You know, I mean, anybody is. That's not fun. You know, and I get it. A lot of people like to flex and say, "Oh, I made this 140 proof liquor. I made this 150 proof liquor." That's great, you know, but you can't have fun off that, man. Nobody can have fun off that. I mean, it's going to hit you too hard. You know, it may be smooth, but it's going to put you down real fast. You know,
Yeah,
it's just not fun that way. Um, you know, that's why you don't hear about liquor stores selling liquor higher than 90, 100, 110. Now, yeah, they did Alfredo's 114 proof Navy strength rum. Um, but that's as far as you really want to go, man. I mean, there's been times, I mean, and actually I've screwed myself up. There's been times people that have watched this podcast for a while have seen. There was one night I was drinking my liquor and forgot the liquor I was drinking was 120 proof. Yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing episode I've ever done on this show because I could not handle my liquor. It was, I mean, you know, 120 proof. I wasn't thinking about it. I hadn't labeled that jar, didn't even realize it. Man, good Lord, I can't tell you how many times I fell on that episode. Just fall right
damn.
out of the chair. Boom. It was that's it's just not fun, man. It hits you too fast, you know.
Now, I have drank 140, 150 proof. You know, I also do, the bourbon thing with a bunch of my bourbon friends, and they sent me some samples. Hey, try this. This is 140. This is 157 proof. I mean, don't get me wrong. That more proof, more flavor. I'm not going to deny that.
Yep.
But that's not
No,
something you can sit down and drink all night long. It just,
no,
no.
yeah, you
A, a,
can't have
a
an
little nip,
evening of
a little nip, okay. But a
yeah,
whole bottle, you'll end up in the damn ER.
yeah. You can't have an evening of fun off that. You know, it's that's why I always tell people. Like I've had people hand me a jar of liquor and say it's only 90 proof. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. If it tastes good at 90, that's great.
That's all
I
that
mean,
matters.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when somebody hands me a jar of 130 or 140 proof and they tell me, "Hey, this is great liquor," I already know. I don't care how good it is. I got a brace for impact. I mean, it just is going to be that way. You know, you're going to feel it. I mean, but you can't sit there and expect that, okay, now I'm just going to sit here and drink this all night. I'm not going to do that. You know,
Ain't no way.
no, there's no way you can. I mean, it's going to put you down too fast. I'm if Now I guess if you're that big of an alcoholic that you got to get your rush that fast, then I guess that works. But for most of us out here, we want to have a little bit of fun with our buzz. You know,
Yeah,
we want to
okay.
have a good time.
So, okay, prime example. When I go up to my deer hunting camp, I'm in a camp with, I don't know, about a dozen guys, and we sit around the campfire, and just about everybody besides me, they drink beer. Well, beer and diabetes is not a winning combination.
Yeah, I won't drink
So
beer.
I'll drink a beer every so often with my dad if he wants to sit down and drink a beer. Hey, let's drink a beer. But
Right.
maybe twice a year. But
Right.
everybody else is sitting around the campfire drinking beer. I don't want to look like the damn drunk in the group, so I'll go ahead and mix me some little bit of whiskey and some Coke Zero just to sit down and sip with everybody, you know.
Yeah.
And I can, you know, go upon my night with that and not get too shit hammered unless I start passing the jar around. But that happens too.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's yeah, there has to be a balance there. You can't go. I mean, a lot of folks on here don't know my oldest brother, man, about 10 years older than me. He died of liver failure. But his thing
I'm sorry to
was,
hear that.
I mean, but I'll sit here and put it out there, guys. He drank 120, 130 proof liquor all the time. That's what it does to you. It's going to pickle your ass. It ain't fun. I can't tell you of any night that I went to his house that actually turned out fun, because when he started drinking, it was to get drunk real fast. And that was the liquor that him and his boys made. It was liquor that got you drunk real fast. Um, there is a difference there. If you want to be a true craftsman, you're looking for the flavor, you're looking for the time, you're looking for a good time. Like when Popcorn said he's made fighting liquor. I'm sorry, but the only liquor I've ever made that I would consider fighting liquor was the shittiest liquor I ever made. It was liquor that hit you too hard, too fast, and it was nasty. And yeah, about the only thing you were going to want to do after that was go fight. Whereas I'll be honest with you, some of the best moonshine I've ever tasted made me want to be friends with everybody. I mean, it was good moonshine. Actually, I think is friendly liquor, man. It makes you. I mean, you're in a good mood. It is the best of the best. You're gonna have fun. You're not out there angry. You're not feeling bad. You're just on a good buzz because the alcohol is that good. It's clean.
One of, one of my buddies swears I make the loving kind. I sent him some to
Exactly.
try. He tried it, and then he gave it to his wife for him to try it. He got lucky that night. And the next morning, he's like, "Bro, you make the loving kind."
Uh, uh, that's the thing, man. Good liquor is friendly liquor. Good liquor is loving liquor. Good
Hmm.
liquor should not make. If you feel like you want to get angry with somebody, you ain't drinking good liquor. I mean, it just good liquor. And if you wake up feeling like shit the next day and you have a hangover, you didn't drink good liquor. It's that simple. I mean, good liquor makes you feel good.
Or maybe you just drink way too much good liquor.
Yeah, yeah, that could be. Yeah,
That happens too.
Randy Cook says y'all making me thirsty. Yeah,
That's my brother Cookie. That's
Earl
my
says
boy
I
there.
like making love and liquor.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Well, hey man, thanks for coming on, brother. Um, sorry Shonda couldn't make it tonight. She's feeling
It
under the
happens.
weather, but yeah, thanks for coming on. Yeah, any new stuff you got coming up? Anything you have that you come out with? Hit us up. We'll promote it. We'll get it out there.
All right, man. I appreciate it. It was great having
Yeah, man.
coming
And
coming on. So
are you gonna be going to Popcorn Jam or Hillbilly?
I checked all the festivals. The only one I was off of work for is the Louisiana one. And all the other ones I'm
Okay.
working.
Okay. Well, definitely everybody out there, man. If you want to get into run electric, talk to this man, Jason Acosta. He can tell you everything you need to know about how to go electric, and he can help get you what you need to get started and get you going electric. Really, electric is the way of the future. I don't care. There is a stupid ass little leprechaun out there that likes to say that at the molecular level, he can tell whether you ran that off electric or propane. Yeah, bullshit. Whatever. The liquor still turns out just as good off electric. So if you guys out there, if you want to go electric, you want to make your life easier, or let's say you're in an enclosed space, you're in an apartment, you're trying to figure out how to run this, Jason Acosta is your man. Talk to him. He can tell you
Appreciate you, brother.
everything you need to know about what you need to get set up to run this safe and make your life a little more convenient and a little easier. And actually, in the long run, even though I am a big propane and wood fire fan, I got to say, in the long run, this man right here, Jason Acosta, can make your life cheaper because it is cheaper to run it electric. It really is. Um, Thank you, Jason, for joining us. And man, we're gonna have to have you on again sometime. If like I said, if you got anything new you're coming out with, hit us up. We'll make sure it gets promoted, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you guys. Have a good night, everybody.
Shine on.